Folks, Tuesday evening, rather, not afternoon. Welcome aboard Between the Rolls here at Murder Hobo Inc. Special Between the Rolls today. As many of you know, we ended the Cacophony Campaign last Thursday. Tonight, we're going to go ahead and discuss it with the primary players here. It should be an interesting little show we got going. Don't forget, if you haven't followed us on Twitter, it's at mhobo inc. Same with Gmail if you need to get a hold of us at any way. You can also join our Discord channel, tinyurl.com/mhoboinc Discord. Chat with us there, give us some feedback. And of course, if you want to buy some of our cool crap like our shirts, phone cases, toilet seat covers, shower curtain. I don't know. We saw a lot of crap. The link is down below. It's tinyurl.com/rpgswag. And if you're in the mood for new math rocks, and who isn't, go on over to Twitter at Pirate Dog Dice. They're slowly but surely getting caught up and can maybe do some custom dice for you. And then, of course, if your game stinks, unlike ours smells like success, or you're going to a convention. Big supporter of the convention world. Try some Adventure Scents by oddfishgames.com. They have over 60 different scents. They also make something called How to RPG with Your Cat and Cooking with Dice. So check those out. They also have something called the Shine System. If you want to be a writer like me, only gooder, check that out. If you go over to their website, oddfishgames.com, you'll also see that there is a Kickstarter getting ready to start. So check that out. This week on Murder Hobo Inc., folks, it's campaign week. So we've got Cred on Thursday, and then we have Calamity A-Side on Saturday. So tune in for those things. Margoo on Sunday is up for grabs at this point in time. Folks, let's introduce you to our panel tonight. David, you are first. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, hi, I'm David, and I played Zadar on Cacophony, and I can't believe it's the end, folks, but I played Zadar on Cacophony, and I also play Ingve in the Calamity Campaign on coming this Saturday, A-Side, and Crow on the B-Side. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me at DNDevious on Twitter. I usually post things about Murder Hobo, D&D, whatnot. If you want to send me a message or anything like that for anything to discuss, hey, open to that too. Pretty excited about this show and the one coming up Saturday, so should be really good.
Yeah, we get to find out if Grumio knows how to fly a helicopter.
I know! Oh my god, that's awesome.
All you need is a percentage roll.
Oh, God Lord. Damn it, Frank.
I wonder who I'm going to do that to. The other main cog in the Cacophony campaign was, of course, my wife, Carrie. Carrie, introduce yourself.
I'm Carrie, and usually I'm producing, but my lovely husband created this campaign for me so I could play in a protected environment.
That's how it started.
Well, I also fill in on the B-side of Calamity, and I hang out. I'm probably the most boring member of all the hobos, but there you are.
I doubt it.
And she will be playing in Pillars of Jocularity, which is the Cacophony replacement. It starts a week from this Thursday. We went with that because if you've ever seen the shows, clearly it is impossible for me to run a concise game that's actually heroic.
You could. It just depends on the people.
Right, so I can't.
Right, so we can't.
It will be set in an ancient Greece kind of environment, aka Pillars of Jocularity. It will feature Andrew, John, Jeff, and Carrie. They will not have character classes when they start. So I'm going to do something a wee bit different to kick off a campaign. They will not be meeting in a tavern. I don't even think a tavern's going to come into play in the first episode. So
Do we even know each other?
yes, there will be some familiarity. Two of the characters run around together. The other two do not, but all will be explained a week from Thursday. And then they will get down to the serious business of being heroes ish, maybe.
Well, I've never made a character before. Frank always makes them for me, so
And
this will be first.
It is done. So she has it done. Enough about that. We're all a little misty-eyed that Cacophony is over. It was fun. A lot of people, unless you've religiously watched, don't realize that the Cacophony campaign did not start out as a campaign, Carol. It started out as an experiment. I wanted to run a strictly urban environment where people could just drop in wherever they felt like it and do stuff. And the first episode, that's exactly what it was.
That's what happened.
It was kind of a shit show, and it finally evolved around. Now, I think the Margoo campaign was episode 389. Cacophony started at episode 89.
Wow.
Way back. And through that campaign, these guys started in Cacophony, did about half of their adventures there until it was time to move on. We introduced a lot of NPCs. They went back in time twice that I know of. One for the Golden Canard and one for Rock of Ages. Now, that doesn't mean that time travel wasn't dabbled in Zadar. But after they left Cacophony, they went to Cathaway and experienced one of the more entertaining episodes. What did we call that? The Festival of Cutlery or something?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Pottery or something like that. There was a Dutch term for the night, and I think you used that or something like that.
It was like Crystal Knock, only way less Nazi-ish.
Without the whole brown shirts and stuff like that. Yeah.
At the time, the Danes and the Norwegians had some kind of weird holiday where they'd throw out all their old.
It was New Year's Eve, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was New Year's Eve. Yeah.
And they'd throw out all their old crockery and pottery and shit like that. So when they got to Cathaway, in lieu of underground crab fighting contests, that's what they got to do. They went on to liberate the Tower of the Curd. They met cloud giants and became home inspectors for a couple of episodes.
That was good.
Man.
Then they went on to Frecklin, where they met a witch, Suki, and
almost died.
As close to dying as they did anywhere in the continent.
Starving to death.
Yeah, it
of
was,
all things, freezing and starving to death.
But they were saved by the love of Camille's life, who then turned out to be from Utah and had a ton of wives, which did not sit well.
Couldn't abide that.
Yeah, they had to deal with frost giants, getting rocks thrown at them, and they finally made it to the Grand Academy, where they reunited with their friend and or Time Lord mentor, Mortimer J. Sneed.
And Zephyr.
Zubek, before going to Nathan to try and solve Mortimer's plague, and then on to Menace, the desert campaign with Katang, where they successfully, albeit lost half of their party. I'm a big fan. Loss of 2 would have been fine with me. 3, all that much better. So if you haven't seen Cacophony, I highly recommend it. There is a playlist, so feel free to check out the Cacophony playlist. We had a lot of fun. I mean, we did 68 of these episodes, 67 episodes on the Heplock Peninsula, and You know what? I'm tired of talking. So, David, when we talk about Cacophony, what do you think?
Oh my God. Well, just how we all started. I mean, we didn't even have Camille in episode 1. We had My Corona. I don't know if Carrie remembers that. We had My Corona,
Vaguely.
and then we had another episode after that. I tried a character named
That's right.
Eden, a warlock, a genie warlock, and yeah, so it all evolved. I stuck with Zadar. Things got crazy with that. Camille came into the picture. And yeah, the rest is history, man. 67 episodes later. So, but it it was a journey. It was a lot of fun. Cacophony was my first, other than a one shot, my first foray into Murder Hobo. I had not even been on Between the Rolls yet when we started playing Cacophony. And that was like my first regular gig with Murder Hobo. And I enjoyed it. I mean, I think we had some other players join us. Of course, we had another person in our party, for the main group.
Caitlin survived all the way to Frecklin.
Mm-hmm. And then
She's still on that boat somewhere.
we had an episode with Blake.
Yes.
He came in the middle of the episode, so that was funny.
Kyle was wandering with his family in the
Yep.
first episode.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
and then we
And
had Kyle
Dibble
came
Thibbet.
in as Dibble Thibbet, and then we had Carol.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we had quite the motley crew out of all these episodes, and yeah, it was just a lot of fun. I mean, I always looked forward to playing on Thursday night. I mean, I love the Saturday night campaign, but you start your first campaign, man, that's the one that really gets you going, you get excited about. So, but yeah, it's great. I mean, I love my time here on Murder Hobo. It was just a whim just to show up and play. A friend of mine told me about them, and yeah, next thing you know, I'm on a regular show, Cacophony.
Oh, you were on 2 regular shows.
Yeah, now I am on 2.
Carrie, what'd you think? Carrie has a different perspective because this is her first time playing.
Well, it makes me sad that it's over, but I always liked it when Thursday night would roll around because it was always lighthearted for the most part. I mean, there wasn't going to be drama and all this kind of stuff. I mean, I think my most favorite part would have to be our little old lady monk slayer.
Eunice.
Yeah, Eunice Monk Slayer.
Just the dumb shit that would come out from stuff like that, and of course my first spells, or fog cloud that I used everywhere. That
Oh,
was so
Fog
much
Cloud.
fun.
Yeah. I could never get mad at you for using it.
I know. It was just so much fun. So yeah, that was fun. It was fun learning how to play that character. And of course, my lovely husband did a whole diorama of Cacophony for me for Christmas, and now I have to work on getting it all painted.
Yeah,
It's
you're
like
gonna
3
have
by
to
4 feet. It is huge.
Yeah.
you're gonna have to post that pic when you're done.
Well,
So,
I did the water and resin. That's been done for a long time, but now I need to, once I get caught up on all the dice, then I'll start working on that.
yeah.
I think there's like 145 buildings in there.
There's a lot. It'll be a while.
All 3D printed. The wall was 3D printed. I did terraced layers. I'll go ahead and post a picture later, but it was a labor of love, and it was impressive as fuck.
I'll wait till I get it all decorated and I add
Oh
in,
man,
like,
when you got your 3D printer, you went nuts. You even made a
Yeah.
dice holder for us. I still have it. I have the
Yeah.
Cacophony dice holder.
Yeah,
sorry,
it's
Lise.
I need to get back into that, but winter's coming. Maybe I'll do that. But folks, one of the things that I think really makes a long-lasting campaign is the NPCs and the redundant nature on how you can use them. So I'll put this to the panel, and then I'll go ahead and answer myself. David, we'll start with you.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite NPC
Gotta be Mortimer.
and why?
He's with us so for so long, you really played him very well. I mean, it was always hilarious when you'd snap into Mortimer J. Steed. And yeah, I mean, you were really into it. You even wrote Sneed's, travel
Travel
guide.
guide.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So,
Available on Drive Through RPG if you want it.
mhm. Yeah, I think Mortimer and Famunda.
And Famunda was
Famunda was our guild master. So, yeah,
Famunda D's nuts.
yep. Just the names you came up with, man. It was just that was the insane part about it. So, but yeah, I would say Famunda
There's
and
the
Mortimer.
list.
It was either Mortimer or Famunda that always bailed our asses out in the end. So
So, what was your favorite use of Famunda? Or,
Famunda,
I'm sorry, from Mortimer.
for Mortimer, I just liked how he facilitated adventures for us, I mean, and that he would just appear, in random places. I mean, we're exploring a catacomb, and then suddenly there's a burst through a wall. And it's just like, it's Mortimer J. Sneed,
On sabbatical.
on sabbatical. Yeah.
And how about
God.
Famunda?
Yep. And Famunda, I liked him. He was our advocate for everything, for all the trouble that we got into. He was our advocate to get us out. So
Nice. Carrie, same question. Favorite NPC?
Well, so I would agree Mortimer, although by the end he felt less like an NPC because you were playing him a lot. So it was like, you interacted with him more. So there's that, and I think my favorite part was when we hijacked the Zeppelin, and he was trying to drive it.
And smash Carol's face into
that was a great
Ermin's-
episode.
Yes, because he was certain he could figure it out. And then, of course, like pelting all the nuns and little children with change or whatever.
They lost eyes.
They did.
They did.
And then, but aside like from that part, because he's kind of above an NPC, but I would say would be the two little detectives that we would always run into.
Oh,
That would be Gibble and Harris.
Yeah,
Gibble and Harris.
those
Yep.
two. Those crack me up quite a bit.
What
So
was the best use of Gibble and Harris?
probably
I
when
know
we got
one
arrested and thrown in jail.
Yeah, when we walked right into the jail.
Yeah.
And they just closed the door.
Yeah, those guys I really liked a lot. And let me just go ahead and pitch this out before I tell you my favorite was, which might surprise you. What is the possibility that Mortimer was God? Did you ever consider that one?
I mean, that's possible that
That's
Mortimer
a very
was
supernatural comment.
Yeah, well, I mean, if not the god, he was probably a god. It's possible he was a deity or something like that, or a demigod or something. So
Sorry, my glasses are all.
that would explain why he would just appear out of nowhere.
If he was God, he was not a very good one.
Well, sometimes gods aren't.
Gods aren't sometimes.
Well, he let himself die.
Did he?
Did he? Yeah, you got to ask yourself. Sure, you burned him. You burned his body. But like I said at the very end, every once in a while, you guys will wander around whatever location you're in, and there's just that hint.
Well, I figured that was either one, he'd been time traveling around, or two, it was one of his illegitimate children wandering around.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I just wanted to throw that out there because about halfway through I started to consider in Nathan. I thought, what if he's God? And that would explain a lot of his aloofness. If you read Dragonlance, Fizbin was just this aloof wizard who just randomly appeared everywhere. And I thought, well, that's kind of what Mortimer does. It was not based off Bisbin, although I do love him, but Mortimer was his own. And when I was thinking about this today to try and figure out who my favorite NPC was, Mortimer was near the top of the list. But I think my favorite one, and bear with me, was Vistata.
I was going to say her too.
Yeah. I was about to say, the one that stayed with us the longest was Mortimer, but towards the end, Vistata definitely shot up the charts,
Well, I liked the character arc that we gave her. And when I say we, I mean we. You guys molded her as much as I did. But when she came to Cacophony as a spoiled brat, and you guys managed to keep, albeit a loose leash on her, and then for her to grow all the way to becoming the Queen of Katang, personally, I really liked it because Mortimer was hilarious. Mortimer's growth was, I'm just a dipshit educator, and now I've got a staff. Stada went from a spoiled brat to a regal queen, and that was my favorite. Although Skippy Lee also gave those two money. Anytime you can have a halfling that steals shit. But I mean, looking over the list, Famunda was great. Fauntleroy was fun. Dibble Thibbit, you dibble it, he'll thibble it. Carol's pirate character in the Goonies episode when you guys found the ship. I mean, we had a lot of good NPCs, and I don't think I wore out his welcome. But Mortimer, you know what? Mortimer's something special. But Vistata's character arc, I particularly enjoyed the most. That being said, let's talk about our adventures. We had 67 adventures. So what in your mind was your favorite one that you played in? Starting with David.
The Halloween episode with Skippy Lee, the Night of the Cats or something like that. Oh, Long Night or something like that.
The Long Night.
Yeah, that was such a great episode. It was so dark, and it was a good episode. That I really liked that one.
Go ahead and refresh the people for what that meant, what it was.
It was a lunar eclipse, wasn't it? Or two, because there's two moons over a world or something like that. So, and when the eclipse happens, it looks like two eyes of a cat, and it was great. And then we had a ghost ship with ghost skeletal minotaurs. I mean, we thought we had a lycanthrope somewhere because we heard howling, and it was just Skippy Lee with the wand of prestidigitation, throwing fake blood all over the place.
Oh, such an asshole.
It was funny.
That was a great episode. Yeah.
And in reviewing to get my list of NPCs, I actually did come across that, and I laughed because it even had the headless horseman on riding a giant rabbit or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Something stupid. I thought, that was pretty funny.
And I think the other episode that I liked was our finale. Our finale was really good. So I will say that. So
that was the longest fight we've had.
We've had.
Hobo Inc. It lasted 10 rounds. That was longer, I think, than the Hobgoblins of Sedelis when Kyle went ape shit. Which I still, Jesus Christ, man, what are you doing?
Hey, that intimidation check, man.
But he snapped his own dog's neck. It's like,
still irritates me.
Yeah.
Carrie, what about you? What were your favorites?
I agree with David. The Halloween one was really good. I liked the one where we had contests with the other adventurers.
That was
Olympics.
Funny. Yeah, the Olympics.
That was good. I think that was probably one of my favorite ones there.
That's where we got Zadar's banana dance.
And then, of course, where we met Vistata, that was good. I like that one. I think that was probably one of my favorite ones too. I have a lot of favorite ones.
Hmm.
It was fun trying to keep her in line.
Yeah.
I did not make it easy.
No.
And honestly, I never planned on Vistata reappearing.
Hmm.
Um,
That
but
was probably one of the other like best moments. It was like, oh, nah.
Yeah.
yeah, I knew it would come as a surprise because with his title being changed from Khalif to Pasha, I
Hmm.
knew you guys were not seeing it coming out of left
I was like,
field
God
there.
damn it, we
No, we
wasted so much
didn't.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all you had
Yeah.
to do was say hi, and that would have been it. But yeah, I liked the Olympiad. I liked what came after the Olympiad. I
Hmm.
liked the interviewing of the leaders
Yep.
because these guys had to search the city for Rodrigo, the
Hmm.
drunken elf, or no, drunken dwarf.
Drunken dwarf. Yeah.
The elves were there. They did not like
Hmm.
him. There was foul play. But when you guys, when I had you guys choose what you were going to do after Cacophony, I really liked how that panned out because,
Hmm.
folks, if you haven't seen it, it's right around episode 170.
Hmm.
Check that out because episode 180 they go on the road, but in the episode they interviewed and were offered jobs by every major nation,
Hmm.
and I just left it up to them as
Yeah.
to what they felt they would like to do. And why did you guys choose the Kurd? I don't understand that one.
I don't
Um,
remember.
I don't remember. I think it might have had to do with that episode with the statue.
Oh,
Remember?
yeah.
I think it had something to do with that because didn't we run into the Telosians? Yeah, they were the Telosian representatives. They were
The
uh
lady, or it was like a statue that like was small and then got big, or
yeah,
It was
yeah,
the magic
yeah.
hut
Uh-huh.
yeah, the
in the
magic
bay.
hut.
Yes.
Yeah, in the bay. Yeah, and we found the spelljammer, you know.
So
So,
we were kind of familiar with them.
mhm. Yeah, I think that's why we went with them. So,
Yeah, I found it interesting, and I didn't care either way because at that point I hadn't written anything down, so I was just kind of curious as to why you guys would, I'm sorry, which you guys would choose and what your reasoning was, because I honestly thought you would have gone with Khalif Majesto and Vistata,
mhm.
but
Yeah.
as it turns out,
I mean, we ended up
you
hitting
did.
what, three of the five nations that
Oh my
vied for
god.
our help, you know.
Yeah, because you went to Frecklin,
Hmm.
you went to Tolosia,
Hmm.
uh, you touched Sedelis, but there were no representatives from Sedelis.
Right.
You didn't deal with the monks anymore.
Thank God.
Mm-mm. Well,
Uh,
not until Nathan.
Yeah.
So,
well, and they weren't looking for you.
Thank
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
They were just an irritant.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nathan was not represented in one of your choices.
Mm-mm.
So um, it was just kind of interesting. But yeah, you guys made the circuit. You got to 10th level. I
Mhm.
thought you did super well. And while we're discussing that, what area, including Cacophony, did you like the most? We'll switch it up and we'll start with Carrie this time.
Area as in like
Did you like Frecklin? Did you like Cacophony? Did you like Nathan? Did you like Menace? Menace includes Katang, of course, but
you
the
know,
Grand Academy, I mean, you know.
it was it was fun going to the Grand Academy after hearing him talk about it all the time. I am on sabbatical from the Grand Academy, blah 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 blah. But I mean, seriously, my favorite was Cacophony because you got to know all the places. You had the place to get your coffee every day, and you know where the pawn shop was, and the same people, and it was kind of like home. So that was, I mean, there are other things I liked about the other places, but that was my favorite part of it.
Yeah, that's fair. David, what about you?
Well, Cacophony is home, you know. So, I definitely say Cacophony would be my first choice, but I think Nathan would be my second because we had a pretty epic battle there, several, and
time
yeah.
traveled.
Yeah.
and time traveled briefly. That's what caused all this mess.
You met the Earl of Sandwich.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah.
Or no, Earl of Hoagie.
Earl of Hoagie. But we were living high on the hog,
Yeah.
man. We were the heroes, man.
That's right.
That
We
was
got
great.
free pizza.
Got free pizza.
Of course, we were accused of killing
Scarpacci's.
what's his face, the cardinal.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, but that was great. I mean, a lot of intrigue. I mean, you put us through a lot of problem solving, and then the episode with Rosa coming in on it with that epic battle with me, Camille, and Rodrigo, I think.
Rodrigo was Toulouse, or not Toulouse.
But anyway, the assassin and the sorcerer, that was a pretty epic battle. So.
Do you like Brock Hardjaw?
Oh, of course.
Of course we did. Brock Hardjaw, yeah, that was, yeah.
And I got to kill that bird creature all by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. You got accused of killing the bird creatures too. So
well,
yeah, and you got to watch the Blimptorium blow up.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
Twice.
Dirigible Farms.
Yeah.
You got to see it done
and they had
twice.
a cheese festival.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that was your first day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You met Framunda's mom, the innkeeper,
Mm-hmm.
and discovered Warforged.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The Warforged went ape shit, which was kind of cool. But go ahead.
I liked that anime moment that I had in Nathan too, man, when I Misty stepped and took the head right off the assassin. It was like, yes, that was a clutch move.
I like it when you started to deal with yourself, albeit you were warned repeatedly.
I know. I was overwhelmed with trying to prevent this disaster, and we couldn't do it.
Where there is death, there is always death.
Yes.
Murder Hobo or Men in Black 3. Excellent. Yeah, I really liked Nathan. It was fun to hang out with the gnomes. And you guys met quite a few people there. So for the longest time I thought, well, that'll be it. Because after you guys got to the Grand Academy, I thought, okay, you've had your fun. You saved Frecklin. You were home inspectors for the Cloud Giants.
Mm-hmm. That was funny.
You nearly fucking starved to death on the plains in the snow. So I like that. So,
but no, we want to put him through shit and make him 10th level.
Yeah, sure.
We did.
We're going to get into a few other things here, but let's go ahead and get all the major questions out of the way. What do you think was the best part of the Cacophony campaign? And we'll go ahead and start with Carrie again.
I like how it was okay, yeah, because there's really an adventurers guild, blah blah blah, but I like how it was
flag hangs in your office.
Well, but I mean, it takes you from okay, there's just these people who they can't really do anything, and they have this little group that they're associated with, and then they go out and do stuff, and I guess just the continuity of it. Like I said, I would consider Cacophony home, and it'd just be all the different things that you get to do while you're there, the first, I don't know, one or two, finding Uma Thurman's cat, and the cheese guy that died, and and then it just, everything kind of links to everything else. Caitlin and her bloody flag. And I was trying to convince him that she had her period. I mean, it just...
Yeah. I mean, a couple times it got raunchy, but that became our undoing.
Well, and using Eunice Monkslayer, the old cat lady, as a weapon. An improvised weapon. So many of those things are unscripted, and you couldn't write that shit if you tried, because you guys Carol, Caitlin, Blake, Kyle, you guys always came up with just some of the weirdest, wacky shit. And it'd be like, that is fucking amazing. Why didn't I think of that? And as for young DMs out there, you can't. You just cannot write that because it would hinge on so many factors coming into play. You would have to know that David was going to do this in order to do it. So remember, only write about half the adventure because your PCs, your players will fill in the other half. And yeah, I mean, using her as an improvised weapon, the bloody flag, the fight with the barbarians in the red spot.
Oh man, when I hauled off and punched that one in the face, that was awesome.
Dealing with the witch in the prison cell. I mean, dealing with the Pat, or what was he? Vicar, the vicar who hated you guys.
Oh yeah, me.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys
or the halfling that you cut his head off.
Yeah.
No.
That was a one shot.
Yeah, that was a one shot.
That was one shot.
Cathaway.
Okay.
Yeah. That was a Cathaway edition.
Oh, but we saw ourselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you did see yourselves. But yeah, I just, just off the wall ideas. One of the best ones was you guys are stuck in Katang, and you guys are in deep shit. I mean, I'm like, I warned you guys, this is going to be dangerous. This is going to be deadly. And Carrie pulls out the old teleportation circle, and I just, boom, had zero idea that one was coming. No clue, just right out of left field. And I'm like, I did not write for that, but you know what? Fuck it. That is in for a penny. And that actually saved all of you guys because you guys were pretty deep shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I like when we got back to the Adventurers Guild, some people are up in the rafters, some people are down here.
Well,
oh, yeah. We were, I think Zadar was down to like 6 hit points or something like that. And I think Camille was you were down to 2.
Yeah, 2
or something
or 3.
like that. Yeah.
The Pasha was bad off. Vistata was bad off. Mortimer and the uncle were okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys, and I mean, I didn't pay attention to her spell list, so I didn't know what cards she was choosing. So when you figured that one out, I mean, that one.
That was a perfect time to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was holding all my spells.
Yeah. So I like that. That was good. David, what did you consider was good about Cacophony?
God, what wasn't good? Not good about Cacophony. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I mean, I think the thing that I liked the most was, I'm not doing this to be self-aggrandizing or anything like that, but
Now's your chance to brag.
I love Zadar and Camille. I mean, that was a great match together. I mean, for all these adventures, So I think the relationship and dynamic between Camille and Zadar, also Caitlin joining the fray with Daphne, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that our guest players and just some of the story arcs, like for example, the whole thing with Zadar's boyfriend, Pretty Boy Floyd, and then trying to kill them. Sorry. I got to get used to the pronouns thing, but that's the thing with the changeling. I didn't abuse it too much.
No, not at all.
Not really.
Yeah, and that whole story arc was kind of tough to write because it hinged on a lot of things, including, are you guys going to take the bait? Because
we took it,
if you don't take it, it's just going to be stuck in the mud. And we're going to get to that on missed opportunities here in a minute. Finally, for the base questions, what was it lacking? As a writer, you can kiss my ass all day long. Oh, this is the best. This is great. Blah 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 blah. But for writers, if they don't know what they're doing wrong, and sometimes it's nothing. I mean, you look at Dragonlance and Margaret and Hicks just kick the shit out of that thing. I love those books, but I gotta know, where are the things that could have been better, should have been better, or weren't even around. And I'll open it to either one of you, and then the other one can talk.
Carrie, you can go first if you got it.
Uh,
There's one thing, and it's not a big deal.
I want to hear it. I don't care if it's big or small.
Opportunity for role play. You know, we didn't really build into Zadar and Camille's relationship or anything like that. But we don't have the luxury of that. I mean, because we got to keep the story moving. We have encounters to do and problems to solve and things like that. So I get it. That's murder hobo. I mean, there's really not a whole lot of role play is really not built into our one shots or Cacophony. You know, it's not like Cred where it's all role play. You know,
Well,
I mean, by
and
comparison,
shitty dice rolls.
I was
shitty dice
talking-
rolls,
Yeah.
Calamity too. There's not a lot of role play.
I
you
was
know.
talking to Frank about it earlier because when we started Cacophony, it was like soap opera, so we
Mhm.
didn't even intend it to be a campaign. So it was, I mean, we didn't really focus on that part of it. It was more like what kind of shenanigans could we get up to in the city this week,
Mhm.
you know, and it was always done at the end of the show. You know, it wasn't until after we took the job offer that it actually
Mhm.
started to be more campaignish. And you know, at that
Yeah.
point, what are you gonna do? You know?
Yeah. I mean, that was great. I mean, the weekly what can we do now in Cacophony was awesome and all that. But you know, things really got real once after the Olympiad and we started campaigning. You know.
Yeah, one of the things when we started it, I had, and I've said this before, but it bears repeating. Growing up, we had to use modules, the pre-canned adventures. Younger folks know it as Strahd and Storm Peak Mountains and all that bullshit. But
Yeah.
that's how we had to do it because, you know, when you're 12, you aren't that creative. And we never did urban settings. I mean, even Keep on the Borderlands, that was our shop. And, you know, fuck that, we're out in the caves. And that's just how we did it. So as Murder Hobo evolved, I wanted to try just an urban scenario and just build up a city. And then, like Carrie said, it just took on a life of its own. And it's like, you know what? We're going to stay in the city and I'm going to see how many of these I can write. Because you think about it, unfortunately, the background in law enforcement helps because you know that there's shit going on in the city all the time that most people don't know about. So I took those examples. I did Zadar's boyfriend as I think 4 or 5 contiguous episode. But everything else was just batshit crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
you had the whole Zubek issue wrapped into the boyfriend problem because it was an underworld thing. But everything else, the Goonies steal, the hot air balloon episode 100, going back in time again to discover why it's the Golden Canard.
Yeah.
I mean, all of those things just added depth. And that's for and I know it's cliche when you work with time travel, but that was the major thing for me was it's not so much time travel as it is to go ahead and give you layers. You've been inside Uma Thurman's tower before, but it was ruled by a lord and there were no walls, there were no buildings in Cacophony. You were there when the skull in the courtyard was there because you guys fucking killed it.
We put it there.
Yeah, you guys had to go through the canyon of vulture creatures and you guys knew when you came back okay, the city looks different, but now I know why it looks this way. So I really wanted to add depth. And that's why those two episodes for me stuck out the best. um, on let's go to the missed opportunities, because when I write these things, I try and write, you got path A or you got path B, and sometimes you have path C. So there are a couple of instances that I really want to hit you guys with and get your opinion on. In episode 100, Hot Air, you guys could have gone in any direction. But for whatever reason, Mortimer's rolls, the D4 on direction, took you into the city to where you could knock Carol's face off.
Yeah.
Which in and of itself was hilarious. Had you gone out to sea, I had arranged for a regular ship, a warship from another country, and then an amber dragon.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah,
afterwards.
you mentioned the dragon.
Yeah. So I'm wondering how you guys, how you would have looked at that differently, knowing that you're in a hot air balloon over an ocean dealing with a dragon.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
That would have been awesome. But we ended up getting the hot air balloon over the ocean anyway, you know? So, I mean, that's how we met the Jinn and wrecked their HVAC unit, you know?
Yeah. Well, and you barely made it into Frecklin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys, the cold
we were
weather
coasting on
like
fumes, man.
So, yeah, I just I sit there and I think back to those times where you could have gone left, you could have gone right, and I wonder, would Cacophony have ended if you would have pissed off the dragon? Because sinking into the sea, it would have been interesting.
Yeah.
The next one I always ponder about is when you guys were in Frecklin at the center of the island, there was a frost giant establishment. It was, I'll say, deserted because you guys didn't find anything. However, there was a shit ton of magic in that area. And
Zadar cast detect magic and everything lit up.
Yeah. So I'm just wondering why you guys didn't pursue that.
I don't know. I think it might have came down to a decision that Caitlin made or something like that. So I think that was the reason why
you guys.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was. That was like the second to last episode she was in it with us. But
I don't know. Were we afraid of getting our shit pushed in, or I can't remember.
Yeah, you kept saying that. Oh, wait, so
because there were giants there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, and the third one I often think about is when you were going to Menace and you guys were given the assignment to go north to the coastline and check out the burial tombs. In the burial tomb that you guys were investigating, where we found the item, the horseshoes of the Zephyr, in that complex, there was a major staff for Camille, and there was an amazing weapon for Zadar.
Damn.
And you guys were like 2 rooms off of each.
Yeah.
And I just wondered, because you guys are like, fuck it, we've got what we came for, and we left. Because I knew if you guys got these things, I felt strongly they're going to do fine. Because these things were pretty big items. And when you guys are like, fuck it, we found what we needed, let's get the hell out of here, I'm like, oh, you might be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I wanted to explore it some more, but I think
I
the
was
time
just too
crunch.
worried that we were gonna get our
our shit pushed in.
Yeah, we're gonna die. This
Pretty
isn't
much.
gonna go well.
Yeah, because I had specifically that one is actually planned out. That one is written out. Everything's in its place, and I thought, okay, well, maybe they'll get scared and they'll only go to one. So only one of you would get the big magic item
Mhm.
that I had designed for you guys. But if you're a frequent watcher of the campaigns, you know I don't give out a lot of magic.
Mm-mm.
I give out some, but
Well, see,
uh,
I couldn't really
not a
do much
lot.
in there because all my good stuff is like pulse wave, thunder wave, blah blah blah. We have that shit all down on top of us.
Yeah. Well, and that's reasonable. That is a
Mhm.
reasonable explanation. Um, and I wanted to let you guys know I wasn't cheaping out on you. I
Mm.
had good shit
I
for
guess I could
you.
have done invisibility and wandered around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you were pissed at me for killing the goat, so
Well, that's true.
The goat problem, but
yeah.
yeah, no,
Firebolt. Oh.
yeah, you guys did accept the copper necklaces, which
Mhm.
saved you, if you
Mhm.
recall. But yeah, I wanted to let you guys know, you guys passed on two really awesome
Yeah, that
things.
sucks.
But the cost would have been pretty high because it
Mhm.
was at the top of your challenge rating.
I
Eight
think
each one.
I think what I was afraid of the most with that episode and all that, because they were looking for shapeshifters and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I thought I was going to run into a problem with Zadar, you
Yep.
know.
Yeah, because
So,
I wanted to make sure the NPCs were around so you guys didn't fuck around too long.
mhm.
Because the entire find the horseshoe Zephyr horseshoes, totally different reason. Now you guys had originally thought that the what was he, the vicar or the head priest or whatever in Menace,
Mhm.
the guy that sent you there. You guys were like, I think his horse is a shapeshifter.
Mhm.
His horse was not a shapeshifter. He was planning on running the horse in the annual races,
Ah,
and
Mhm.
knew if he could get the horseshoes,
Mhm.
he'd be fine. When you guys came back and wouldn't turn him over to him, jigs up, and
Yeah.
because the Pasha slash Caliph's chariot was more than fast enough. I mean that
Yeah.
would not have caused a problem. So yeah.
Um yeah, the other thing about Menace was like the political intrigue or something like that we kind of touched on. And what was the old guy that would just show up out of nowhere?
oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
He
Yeah.
was he
that we
was
fed.
as you correctly guessed, he was the leader of the opposition.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. What was his name? Um,
I I hate saying the term for the name, but I think his name was Jaime or something like that.
yes.
Yeah.
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 Jaime.
Mhm.
But yeah, I liked Jaime. Jaime was used as a distraction
Mhm.
very well, I thought.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I thought that was the story. So
Yeah. And the other funny thing was you guys getting caught in the burlesque show.
mhm. That was funny.
So I enjoyed that as well. But yeah, the Caliph, by the time you reached the Pasha, it was going to be go time.
Mhm.
Uh, and the funny thing is, originally planned, the lycanthrope encounter
Mhm.
was not originally planned at his brother.
Mm.
So I thought, you know what? I'm going to fuck with these guys. So that
Yeah.
that was kind of funny because the look on your faces, because I think it was you, David, that's like, do we know this guy? And I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, you left his ass walking in the desert.
Yep.
Oopsie.
So yeah, I liked it. Did you like the offer of the jobs at the very end?
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah, I did. I did like it. I felt bad that Camille and Zadar had to split up, and the missed opportunity that I thought was like the long goodbye thing between Camille and Zadar. We didn't touch on that or anything.
Well,
So
and since you survived, I purposely left it open. So
yeah.
you know that Camille can teleport to 3 different places.
Yeah, it's
at this
not
point.
like we're not going to see each other. So,
And you will get your potion to fix
Mhm.
your lycanthropy or your time travel sickness.
right.
Lycanthropy is hit or miss, but I liked the idea. And it was not a campaign, Carol.
Mhm.
It wasn't it was not designed to be a
Carol.
campaign. Well, Carol was always, it's a campaign. Well, it did evolve into a campaign.
Yeah, towards the end.
Yeah, and I thought it was a very good campaign.
Mhm.
It was urban to start with, so that was a personal challenge for me. I think I got it right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if you folks at home are interested in doing an urban campaign, Sneed's Guide to Cacophony is out on drive-through. Just Google Sneed's Guide to Cacophony.
Oh yeah, that's
You'll find
awesome.
it. It is well fleshed out.
God rest Mortimer.
Yeah.
God rest Mortimer.
I got
or
one
not.
thing to say about Mortimer, though. What I wanted to do, but you played it out. He was the tomb and enshrined at the Grand Academy. Zadar was going to take his cremains and put it in an hourglass and put the medallion sealed in the bottom of the hourglass.
But you can always go grave rob. It's not like
No,
you
I'm
guys
not
haven't
going to go
grave
grave
robbed
rob.
before.
But I thought if we couldn't figure out what to do or something like that, I don't know. That's just something that I thought of.
And you know what? I like that idea a lot. I had you mentioned it, I would have been happy to have gone with that. And you know what? Unfortunately, I wouldn't have thought of that, but maybe Ernie in the Sedelis campaign, that's one of the things that he knocks over and breaks. Because
Probably.
Mortimer's hourglass.
and you know, the ashes just swirl
Dust
up
in the wind.
into the evil that they unleashed.
Oh,
So,
Lord.
but yeah, and doing the campaign in reverse, present time. Oh, these guys happened before you. I thought worked. It was interesting, and you guys did not spend much time on Sedelis, which was fine. I didn't mind that at all. But overall, I think it was very successful. I mean, a lot of viewers, a lot of episodes. So it is always tough to say goodbye. But for you young DMs, there comes a point in time when it is time to move on. You know, you might be delusioned.
No, it's not.
You might be delusioned by old grognards who are like, our campaigns lasted 9 years.
40 years,
We're 106th level and shoot fireballs out of our dick. And, you know, that's how tough we are. And it's like, you know, it would be nice to have a long running campaign like that.
Yeah.
The Margoo guys have been running a little bit less than Cacophony. They came in right about the same time. But that is just a shit show. So,
Oh my God, if I had a campaign run for like 5-10 years, I don't think I could go without it. I would be so heartbroken.
I've been playing in a home campaign for 3 years now. So,
and the problem is if you lose that character, that is a 3-year commitment down the shitter. I mean, that's like wrecking your brand new car.
It's worse than that because it's your character.
Yeah,
but one of the things is like, where do you go when you get Paragon level? You know, it's just
That's
like
true.
the challenges are few and far between. You know,
You retire.
Exactly.
Well, and see, in the old days, first edition, when you hit 9th level, you were allowed to have a keep or an abbey or a tower or whatever, and it was just generally assumed, you know, you could go on and do more shit, but you know, maybe it's time to hang up the cleats and let the younger folks do it. And I have never had a campaign go to 10th level. You guys made it.
I'm glad we're your first.
Yeah, Margoo might surpass that, assuming they don't land in jail or captured again. But I thought I thought it was a good stopping point because you guys, the only thing you guys haven't done is kill a dragon. And
honestly, Camille would be like, no, we could make friends with it.
Exactly. Yeah, I think there were a lot of large creatures you wanted to be friends with.
At it. It'll like us.
But you've been underwater. You've been in the clouds. You've flown through the air. You've visited half a dozen countries. You've made friends with all the leaders. You won the Olympiad. you're heroes. I mean, you're well-known heroes. There's no, you keep doing stuff. If what's the old saying about living long enough to become a hero or the villain, something like
Yeah,
that.
the old Batman analogy,
Yeah. So
Yeah, you be a hero for long enough, you eventually become the villain or something like that. Yeah.
yeah, and you guys are going out on top.
Now
So
we have to go for endorsements
yes,
Yeah.
for the Flying
Nike.
J.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, we start doing our commercials. Yeah.
Back when I was on the trail, I'd always have Flying J
Exactly.
and a cheese wedge from Harry's Cheese Shop. If I
Yes.
couldn't get it, Dibble Thibbit would thibbit it over for me.
Zadar for Scarpacci's Pizza
That's
or something
right.
like that.
Yeah. I always had Scarpacci's Pizza when I was on the trail. But
I can't adventure without it.
Ran a little bit long, but I kind of figured
fun.
we would. But yeah, Cacophony, it was a great experience. I'm glad you guys feel the same way. Folks at home, if you haven't, on this YouTube channel, you will find a playlist of Cacophony. I highly recommend it. You've heard what our favorites are. Check them out. Give us some feedback if you'd like, or just enjoy them. So we have Cred this Thursday. We have Calamity this Saturday. Maybe we have Margoo this Sunday. Hard to say. Don't forget, you want to buy our crap? Great. If you want to follow us, our crap goes on sale, I think, tomorrow.
Oh, nice. I need new t-shirts.
Yeah. T-shirts are like $14.95. So,
nice.
But everything else is 40% off. It's either tomorrow or the next day for Labor Day sale. So buy it when it's on sale. Also, if you want to contact us, if you want to be on a one shot, this past Saturday, we had a couple celebrating their first anniversary. Charles.
That was nice.
And they had a good time.
That was cute.
They almost fucking died, but it's fine. And if you need some new math rocks, personalized, customized, run on over to Twitter at Pirate Dog Dice. They're getting caught up. And of course, if your game stinks, unlike ours smells like success, Adventure Sense from oddfishgames.com, makers of How to RPG with Your Cat, How to Cook with Your Dice, the Shine System so you can write gooder than me, and a forthcoming Kickstarter, oddfishgames.com. Boys and girls, thanks for being on the journey of Cacophony with us. We had a blast. We hope you did too. Let's give them a big old kiss and wave.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Baby.
It's hard to say.
No, hang on. Okay, now we're good.
This was fun. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.